Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of That's a Fact.
Always be yourself, no matter what.
Love by intuition and experience. You are liberated in the freedom of your pleasure and your
And I design joy. And that's a fact.
And that's a fact.
And that's a fact.
Everybody, welcome to another episode of That's a Fact, where we talk all factual things around our guests and their femme journey. I'm your host, Kirsty Adams, and on the show this time we have multidisciplinary visual artist and mother, Jasmyne Hampden, otherwise known as Mars. How are you doing, Jasmyne?
Hi, I am doing great. Yes, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for asking, and more so, thanks for being on the show. We're really honored to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. She's a multidisciplinary visual artist. She's exhibited all over Los Angeles and Boston, and she is the mother to 2 kids. Am I correct?
One kid.
We're going to start with the very first question, which is basically, how do you identify?
So I identify as a woman first, of course, an individual. I'm a visual artist, and I'm just not an artist when it's time to paint or make something. Art is like my life, you know what I mean? I look at all different kind of things as a form of art, and I have a really big imagination. So even just a simple trip to the grocery store is an adventure for me.
Geographically, where are you right now and why?
Right now, I'm in Virginia, which is a state in the United States. I'm on the East Coast of the United States. And I was living in New York, and I had a personal change that just allowed me to move back home. Because Virginia has been like my home state for a long time. I'm originally born, and I was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but I moved to Virginia when I was a little girl, and this just been my space, my place ever since. So I came back down here, and I was called to teach. I became a pre-K teacher, so I'm down here, and so far, because I've been back home for 4 months now. So far, this journey has been really interesting. You know what I mean? I feel like even though you may not understand why everything happens the way they do, but I feel like God has just a bigger plan for everyone, for me. So just coming back home and being called to teach has been a blessing, honestly.
Motherhood, did it influence your visual creativity, and how?
Oh, yes, it did. Becoming a mother, even before I gave birth, during the pregnancy journey, I remember the first trimester, I wasn't able to create because I was really, really sick. But because morning sickness and everything, but once that trimester went into the second trimester, I was able to do everything again. So I did so much research about artists that are mothers, and I came across a whole community of things. I was just oh, this is so inspiring. I was so inspired. I ordered all these artist motherhood books, all of these different books about poetry and motherhood, and I took off. I did not stop the whole pregnancy journey. I was creating day in and day out, and I wasn't working, and I didn't have to do anything. Like, I would just wake up and create every single day, all the time. And of course, I would have to take like breaks in and out because, you know, I'm pregnant. I don't want to like overwork myself, but I enjoyed it so much. And honestly, this is really crazy. So I was having early contractions, and I remember I was working on this painting called Internal Reflections. I'll send you a picture of it. And I finished the painting around 11:30-ish, 11:30 p.m., you know, in America on my time. Once I was done, I just got this like just a shift and energy where it was just like, oh yeah, like my baby is coming. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this birth, you know, because I was towards the end of the trimester, the third trimester, I was I just became really nervous. I had a lot of anxiety, but after I finished the drawing, and it was a self portrait, it was super abstract. Okay, I finished at 11:30 p.m. I started having real contractions by like 1:00 a.m. And like that whole, like later on that night, I ended up going to the hospital, and I was like, and I gave birth. So it was just so crazy. Like, I literally made art all the way up until it was really time for me to give birth. Like,
wow, that is wild, Jasmine. Was there any particular book that you really, really resonated with?
Okay, like it's over there, like on my bed. Could I just like go pick it up really quick? Could I
go pick it up?
Okay. I'll be right back. The Motherhood of Art. The Motherhood by Marissa Hubbard and Heather Kirtland. And sorry, it's like it has like paint and like everything on it, and it's kind of like a Q&A kind of book. So they would ask, hey, what inspired you during, you know, your postpartum depression phase, or for example, let me see. Okay, how does being an artist influence you as a mother? You know what I mean? Like, it was just asking all these like questions that like I needed to be like answered. I don't know, like it was just really, it was a really, really cool book because like they're answering all these questions. Like, it's just so in depth, and like I was just so inspired. Like, it's a really like thick book. So wow. I was like, you know, just like going through like each one and like taking notes and stuff. Like during my first trimester, my first, second, and third trimester, like this was my book right here. Like,
you have the name Mars.
Yes, Mars.
Is it an alias? And why Mars?
Okay, yes, it is an alias. And why Mars? So I remember in 2015, I was going through this huge transition, of course, because artists go through several transitions in their life. So I was just going through another transition, but it required me to just really accept me fully, you know, be confident in my body, be confident in who I was, just as a woman, you know. I think 2015, I probably was like 20, 21, 20. I can't like remember. I mean, it hasn't been that long, but it's been a while. But yeah, during that time, like I went natural, and something compelled me to use my body. Oh, natural.
But when you say natural, what do you mean?
So I cut all my hair off. I cut all my hair off in the Black community. Yeah. Like I did like the big chop. So yeah. So I did the big chop, and I was just in this transition of, okay, I'm gonna start using my body as a canvas. So that's when I started to do body art. And I don't know, like I was like, okay, because my old alias name was Savvy. And I was like, okay, I need something new. And I was like really inspired by like the universe, like during that time, the universe, the planets, kind of like that new age spirituality thing. Like I was really highly influenced by that. So I was like, ooh, like I love Mars. Like Mars is cool. Like Mars is like a planet. It's out of this world, you know, like I'm down to Mars kind of girl. Like, so I was like, I'm gonna do Mars. Like I started using my body as a canvas. There's this video, it's like this music, it's like these two musicians, like they're super old school from like the 90s called Outkast. It's like a hip hop group.
Oh yeah, I know Outkast.
Yeah, so Outkast, I forgot the video, but basically like the video, it had this girl, she was like body painted and it was like super, I think the song is So Fresh, So Clean. I think it's the song. I don't know. So yeah, like, and I was like, oh, like I love that. I want to use my body as a canvas. Like I want to body paint, stuff like that. So yeah, that's how I came up with I don't know. I was just going through a whole transition and I was just like, I love Mars, so that's what I'm gonna just be.
Why visual arts?
I have been drawing, doodling, painting, whatever you like. I've been making stuff since I was 2. Like I remember my grandmother, she having my crazy drawings on the refrigerator, and
as we all do.
Right. You know, like it starts from when we're little and we're so into all of that stuff. But I remember just growing up, always doing something with my hands, always making something. There were several coloring books. There were like the art sets that you would make beads and stuff from. And then when I got into high school, I took visual arts in high school, but during that time it was just such a weird time for me and I was like super insecure and I really didn't like take art like seriously, or I would like be ashamed that I was so creative. I don't know, for some reason like you would get teased for being creative. Like I don't know, it was weird. So I would just hide my talent. But when I went to college, I took it seriously. Like and honestly, like that's just a whole story within itself. Like something came over me and I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to go to school for my parents' satisfaction. I'm going to actually major in something that like really brings me joy, that I'm truly passionate about. Because like over here, like in America, like a lot of the culture, you don't like, it's not really okay to go to school, go to college for liberal arts. So like it didn't make any sense to my parents. Like, why would you go to college for drawing? Why would you go to college for dance or something like that? Like you go to college to be a doctor or a lawyer or like an engineer or something like that. And I understand that, but I mean, I was like, I don't want to be that.
Who has inspired you? Name 3 artists that have inspired you during your artistic journey.
Musician wise, her name is Solange Knowles. She and just her whole approach to like music and like performance art, it's just out of this world. I'm like I love her. So she has inspired me. There's an artist. He is I don't want to like label him, but I guess he's an illustrator / painter, but like yeah, he does really cool stuff. His name is Robert Pruitt. Yes, his work is strongly influenced by Afrofuturism. So like very kind of fusing the like scientific sci-fi superhero kind of themes, but like with the African diaspora, and like very I don't know what to, it's weird, but it's like fusing like future stuff with like old like folk tales and just making it really cool.
Would you call it Afrofuturism?
Well, like in his interviews, he has said that like he was inspired by Afrofuturism. So like I would just call it Afrofuture. Like I love Afrofuturism. Like I just don't know how to explain it. Just like with his particular pieces. Like yeah, but they're like really unique and I love all his stuff. Yeah, he's cool. But yeah, Robert Pruitt. And then the last one is there is an organization and it's that the lady that runs the organization is called Artist Mother, and her name is Caitlin Butine. I think I'm saying that right, Caitlin Butine.
So there's an artwork called The Ugly Side of Pregnancy, and this is your artwork. Can you explain a little bit more about what inspired The Ugly Side of Pregnancy and what exactly was The Ugly Side of Pregnancy?
Woo, boy, okay. So what inspired The Ugly Side of Pregnancy was just like the I don't want to say, oh, the ugly side of pregnancy, but just okay. So I remember the second trimester where like do I really remember, or was it like a blur? But yeah, I was just going through this transition, this shift again, where everything just wasn't like grand photo shoots and like, because you know, like when you go on Instagram, like during like that pregnancy, like every woman wants that dream pregnancy journey where like they're taking all like the photos and everything is just very perfect and like makeup on all the time. And I mean, it was just basically inspired by like that everyday life. Like every day during your pregnancy, you're not gonna have like the best days. You're not gonna have maybe the perfect second trimester or the perfect third trimester. And I just wanted to express that side, like this is what I'm like feeling right now. This is what I'm going through. And around that time, there was a lot on the news and all over social media about how African American women were, I mean, they were saying that they were being murdered in the hospital. So it was just like, basically when a Black woman goes into the hospital for pretty much anything, you know, we have like, you know, these doctors that kind of underestimate our pain. And it was a lot of that dealing with like pregnant, like, you know, during the birthing labor experience, where it was one girl, the doctors really did not take care of her the way that she needed to. She had preeclampsia and her blood pressure was rising, and they just kind of like really just didn't take the same precaution as they would do with someone that wasn't like black, you know? So
it reminds me a little bit of Serena's story when she had Olympia, then they didn't really attend, and thank God for her God-given stamina, because the same stamina that she used in court, she basically used in the hospital when she tried to save herself.
Yeah, she almost died. And you know, during that time, I was just so nervous because I wanted to have a home birth, but you know, it's just like I don't know if I'll be able to endure the pain, you know, like I want to make sure I have the best doctors. I want to make sure like I'm at the right hospital. I don't want my pain to be underestimated. Like I want someone to really take care of me during this most vulnerable time in my life ever. So I was going through like a lot of different things. I mean, the thoughts were very like abstract. I just began to be all over the place. I was just going through like phases of sadness. And it was like a new journey for me anyway, because like during my pregnancy journey, I wasn't away from my family, but I just didn't want to be around anybody. I was super like isolated within myself. Like I isolated myself from my fiance at the time. Like I was like, I don't really want to be bothered. You know what I mean? Like it was a whole like process during that like the ugly side of pregnancy phase. Like I had to let him know like, hey, you know, like I need this space, you know, for me to get these creative juices out, for me to like heal, you know, like just for me to just get out of this rut, you know. And when you're pregnant, a lot of different things come up to the forefront. A lot of things that you probably suppressed for a long time. Pregnancy has a funny way of allowing trauma, childhood trauma, insecurities, like it just allows all that stuff to come up to the forefront. So that's what I was dealing with. Like I'm healing from a lot of things that I thought I had healed from, but I'm really getting through it, you know. So that was that. It was just a weird time.
Your fiance, how did he deal with this ugly side coming out, as well as in combination with your artistic side, because that's just as sporadic, right?
Right. So he was patient with me like through the whole entire pregnancy. I mean, because during that time he was meeting a whole new side of me, you know, that he was just watching me grow and heal and just suffer, like, you know, because when I was with the morning sickness, I mean, I'm telling you, he stopped his whole life to make me a priority during my pregnancy journey, you know. So just him cleaning up the vomit, him making sure I have every single thing. Hey, I need a pack of chips. I need 3 packs of chips. He's gonna find the particular pack, because if he knows that if I don't have the right chips, it's gonna be an argument.
Jasmine, are you a savory snacker or a sweet snacker?
Oh, I love sweets. I had candy, ice cream, anything. Milkshakes. I was all over the place.
I also saw that you got featured on Watching New York. How did you feel about that?
Yeah. Okay, so the photographer, he is such a great person. Oh my God. Like I just love his energy. So yeah, I was walking. I had just came from Union Square and I was walking. I love Union Square. Yes, I spent the whole entire day just fellowshipping with like people and like meeting different people. Like I spent the whole day when I was out there like on my birthday, and I was just like, oh yeah, this is great. Like I love it. But
that's why you're looking so fine.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, amongst other days, but especially birthdays, you gotta look like fine as hell too.
Yes, you do. You gotta make sure everything is like looking right and everything. So yeah, but I was walking in Bed-Stuy over there, like in Brooklyn, and I had my earphones in, and he came out to me. He was like, "Oh my God, I love your outfit. I love your outfit." I was like, "Thank you." You know, like I'm just like chilling. He was like, I saw you, and I had to come over here and like take your picture. And I was like, okay, like sure. And he just made me awkward. I mean, you know, he was great. And like he was just taking pictures of me. And like he like recorded me a little bit, like, you know, just the me and my art, and like asking questions about like my outfit. And he ended up buying an art piece from me. I had some art like laid out, because like after he took the pictures, I went to go set up like on, because like there's street vendors and stuff. So I went to go like set up in Brooklyn, and like he came back. He was like, "Oh my God, like you have your art out." And so like he bought a piece, and I was just like so like honored.
So sweet. Oh my gosh. I'm going to read you some facts, and I'm going to ask you questions around how you resonate with these facts and statistics, and what you've experienced with these kind of instances. According to National Museum of Women in the Arts, only 29% of the winners of the Turner Prize, one of the best known visual art awards, have been women, though several women have won over the past decade. In 2017, Lubaina Himid became the first woman of color to win. So my question around that to you is, what are your personal experiences with these inequalities within the art space? And how do you try to remedy this at all?
Like the curriculum in art school is very whitewashed, and I know, because I attend Old Dominion University, so I would have these conversations with my professor, like, hey, it's really important for me as a Black woman to not water any of my pieces down. I'm not going to change anything because it makes the guy over there uncomfortable. This is what I want to do. You know, this is what I'm going to do. If it makes somebody uncomfortable, I'm not sorry, because like we're living in a new time where I'm tired of looking at Rembrandts. I mean, like I appreciate the oldies, but like I'm tired of looking at Rembrandt or who are all these other people? Like Da Vinci? Like I don't even know. We learned about so many people, and it was just like, I don't care. So that's why I don't really remember, because I didn't even like really pay attention, because I was like, this is so boring. But yeah, like I was like, I have to have a voice too. Like, you know, Black art matters too in the art school community. Like, you know, even like when we would have to do like models and stuff, we'll have to, like in drawing class, we would have to do live models and stuff, and the model would come in, and I like, you know, women, they come in so many different shapes and sizes, and I would have loved to maybe sketch a woman maybe of like a curvier figure, or maybe like a like plus size, you know, someone that does have like saggy boobs, or you know what I mean? Like it's just not this typical, you know, like
like the perfect figure. I say it in inverted commas.
Yeah, you know, like just like having that perfect figure. So I noticed that, but I did have great professors that understood exactly where I was coming from. When I did my presentations and, you know, my art pieces, they were loud and in your face. And yeah, I matter. You guys see me, you know what I mean? So
I got you, girl.
Yeah, you have to. And like even in like art history class and stuff like that, we would talk about art pieces and sculptures from Europe. And maybe like we had one little segment where we would talk about art pieces from Africa. And I'm like, where are all the other art? Like there's so many great things there. Come on now. So
that's insane. So basically, in a nutshell, there was a lot of incongruencies with where you come from, and what you're learning, and what's being like fed into your brain, and almost like you know, imposed on your brain. Did it feel that way?
Like I know we were learning the lessons, yeah, but like I said, I had those conversations and I was very like vocal and loud with my opinions, like, hey, like I'm a Black artist. These particular things are not resonating with me, so can I paint this, or can I write about this? There was a paper where we had to, I know a lot of the students kind of went the traditional route, but I did a paper about comparing, what was the painting? The Birth of Venus painting. And I compared it to, there was a painting that, what's the artist's name? Her name is like, it's like, oh my goodness, I will send you the name and her artwork in the DM. But basically she did a painting about the birth of Oshun, which is it's like Yoruba. Yes, yeah, that's the original painting. The birth of Venus. Monticelli did that one. But
Botticelli.
Yeah, Botticelli.
Yeah.
Yes, and the lady that had did the modern day version, yeah, she's an African American, she's Cuban, like Afro-Cuban. And yeah, she did a painting called The Birth of Oshun. So basically,
okay.
Yeah, I was comparing the two, and the name of my paper was like, we're one and the same, so basically I was just kind of just paying that respect that, okay, like we study all of like these white artists, and like we have to appreciate a lot of these artworks and painters, but hey, like this is some, like this is an Afro-Cuban artist, like she's painting something to kind of give recognition or honor like to the African like Yoruba culture, because Oshun, like she's a Yoruba goddess and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I was really vocal about just making my presence known in art school. Like, hey, like I'm an African American artist and I have a place here, I have a space here, like it's important for me to be seen and my opinions matter too, so yeah.
According to National Museum of Women in the Arts, women earn 70% of Bachelor of Fine Arts and 65 to 75% of Master of Fine Arts degrees in the US. Though only 46% of working artists are women. So since you've mentioned your attending of Old Dominion University and that you study fine arts there, as well as psychology, what does that fact say to you about the relationship between studying the fine arts, the business of the arts, and being a woman compared to how men experience an artistic business? Right. So for women, we definitely got to work like 10 times harder. You know what I mean? It's like I said, it's just important to make that space for yourself and like not be intimidated by like the next student or like the next person that's trying to get that job. Like just make sure like you're always just like standing out, you know what I mean? Like don't water yourself down. And especially like I know when you have to go to school for like when you get into your masters and things like that, and you have like your shows and like you got to do like your thesis and all of that like stuff. Like I'm not there yet, but just from the things that I've watched, and like I watched like a lot of interviews and stuff about women getting their masters and stuff like that, like it's no joke. Like they have to work really hard, and then on top of that, the Black and brown community has to work even harder, so it just takes a lot of work. You got to be confident. You just gotta believe in yourself, as cliche as that is, but you really gotta believe in yourself. Just work really hard to get where you want to be.
Yeah, I don't
Sounds
know.
good enough.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if I answered the question correctly.
Sounds simple enough.
Yeah.
It's really a situation of, like you said, what stood out for me was that you said you need to stand out, and that's it.
Yeah.
And there's so many factors to standing out, which is being confident and also not comparing yourself to people as well. So definitely resonate with that. After birth of a child, it is likely for men to get an increase in income, while women incomes remain untouched but with no increase. I don't know if you knew about that ever.
No. Well, I knew that men get paid more than women, like in corporate America. Like I knew all that stuff. But wow, like that makes me mad. Wow. Why aren't we getting like a raise or some sort of benefits like involved during the pregnancy journey and after you have the kid? You know what I mean? If any, like everything should be covered. Something should be like, I mean, a gift basket would be nice. Like, so that's wow. I did not know that. I really did not know that men salary increases when the wife or the girlfriend is expecting, but like the woman that is working maybe during pregnancy or those 3 weeks or 6 months after postpartum, they start to work again and they don't get an increase in salary. I think that's crazy.
Do you feel as an artist, especially a woman artist and a Black artist, that you have a social responsibility with your art?
Yeah, I feel like my social responsibility as African American artist, Black artist, whatever you want to call it, is to always stand in my truth and to always be myself, to always express and paint the things that I want to paint, create the things that I want to paint without, like, can you tone it down, or like it's too much, you know what I mean? Like and honestly, I have had this problem with a few of my previous pieces. I'll show you, I'll DM some of the pieces where, it did cause a lot of uproar or conversation. A lot of people wanted to kind of like sexualize it and, just put it in this provocative category. But I mean, of course, like the average eye is just not going to get it, and that's okay. But I'm not here to like make others comfortable. You know what I mean? Like the whole purpose. Like I know at a time, my main goal to make art was to make others uncomfortable, for them to think outside the box. You're not going to look at my work and be like, oh, that's cute. You're gonna want to think, you're gonna want to ask yourself questions, so I feel like my responsibility is to just always just be myself and stand in my truth. And I don't always have to make a political statement, but like when I do, it's me, it's my opinion, it's my view on things. And if it makes you uncomfortable, like, I am not sorry, because I hold space much as the next artist does. So that's my responsibility, my social responsibility. Like, to be loud and proud.
Insert Beyonce's track Sorry.
Yes, sorry, not sorry.
Not sorry.
Not sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of making people think with your art, would you say that your proudest work makes people think? And if so, what is the name of that artwork?
Yes. Okay, so the name, I think it's losing me. The name of the artist, I did it when I was in my second trimester. It's called Milking It Out. So basically it's a self-portrait of me, and it is provocative. It is a little like, but it's out there. But it's a self-portrait of me, and I have the and I'm nude, and I have the breast pumping pumps. I drew breast pumps on my breast, and on one breast pump it says daddy issues, and on the other breast pump it says feeling my mommy's pain. So basically, so like milking it out. And like I said, during the pregnancy journey, a lot of things come up to the forefront, you know, and you have to heal from things that you thought that you were healed from. So during that time, I was dealing with that healing. You know, I was dealing with like a lot of like childhood trauma, and I was having like these really opening and healthy conversations with my mom. And, you know, I was getting to the bottom of like a lot of things that happened in my childhood. So that it was just about milking it out, you know, milking that trauma out. So the generational curses do not continue, you know, doing the work through my pregnancy journey, you know, like, you know, healing through my pregnancy journey. So it was just kind of a play on things, you know, because like when you milk something out, like you kind of like you're squeezing the what is it, like the bottom of the cow, like the juices of the cow, so that was like what the breast had meant to me, and having the breast pump and writing those words, you know, I have daddy issues, and then feeling my mom's pain, and I'm like milking all of that out. And then on the breast I had like big veins kind of like bursting out, because it's like I'm really trying to, you know, get all of that out. And I'll send you a picture of the art piece that I did, the art piece, you know, describing it. But
we'd love to show everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's such a beautiful image, and it shows how you've grown to a healthy space of not only being able to provide for a child, but also to be able to reassess, you know, what you've brought on from these generational curses and try to cast them away to, you know, protect your child's space. It's beautiful.
Yes. You hit it right on the nose. Yes, that's exactly what the whole like mission was to do with that artwork. So yeah.
Kudos to you for doing that.
Thank you so much.
Speaking, and I think we should be rounding off at this point, but basically, you know, all this talk about childhood, all that stuff, and, you know, artistic influences, I would love to know, and I'm sure everyone else would love to know, just simply, what is your favorite artistic memory?
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Oh, I have like so many, but I think like the
Pick
most
one. You only allowed one.
I think the most nostalgic one was I was at my Nana's house. I was in middle school, and I was at my Nana's house, and I remember I was at the dining room table, and I don't know, I think I had like this fashion design kit thing. Like I had this fashion design kit, and I was like,
how old were you?
I think I had to be like 13, like 12, 13. All right. And so I was at the dining room table, and I was making like mini dresses, mini jean dresses, and like jackets for like Barbie dolls. And like I had it like I don't know, I like made this like diorama kind of thing where it had like, it was like, oh, like this is the fashion house, and like over here I'm like designing it was like so miniature, like I don't know. I was like designing like Barbie jackets and like skirts, and I just remember like it was like midday, just being at the dining room table like at my Nana's house, and just like wow, like this is cool. Like it was just a moment of like confidence and like joy, you know, like, wow, like I'm really doing something creative and like I'm really enjoying myself. Like this is just like a moment. Like I don't know, I felt like I could just take on the world during that time. That was like really just like sewing and doing all
God, to feel that at 13 years old is really empowering, really profound, because that is the time, that's like the brink of like, you know, teen angst and all of that. So
yes,
I'm so overjoyed that I'm hearing this from you, because it's a lot that kids, even like women, well, teenage girls like go through, like they go through a lot. So it just shows like how you bloomed into this beautiful artistic flower. There we go. Do the motion.
Yes,
that was honestly, so beautiful to hear.
Thank you. Like I still feel like that 13-year-old girl, you know, like I'm 27,
I can
but
see that.
I still feel 13. So that's good. Like
that's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that the way that you're flourishing right now, it seems like there's a lot in store for, you know, not just artistic success, but artistic influence, you know. And I think that's the greater goal, right? To just impact people and impact lives that way. So well done, seriously.
Thank you so much, Kirsten.
Thank you, Jasmine. So
you.
at the end of a That's a Fact episode, we love to state an affirmation about everything we've learned about the conversation. My affirmation is that stay 13 years old. And that's a fact.
And that's a fact. Okay, my affirmation. Always believe in yourself. That is so cliche, but really, really believe in yourself. There's nothing that you can't do. Take on the challenges, embrace the challenges, and you'll be able to get through anything with God, you know. If you do your part, God will do the rest. So that's a fact.
Yes, honey.